Some 25 students from the project management class, accompanied by instructors, visited the airport to get a first-hand view of project management in action. They were also interested in the environmental impact of the project on the surrounding areas. Additionally, they received an update on the progress of the project. Our first stop was at the Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Building, where they were given the grand tour by Project Manager Anderson YARDE of INNOTECH, following which he fielded questions regarding project management.
During the life of the project, St. Vincent, unfortunately, we don't get everything from here. We don't get everything from the Caribbean, only St. Vincent. So some things, I'm talking procurement in period. So some things we need to procure from Europe, something we need to procure from America, and sometimes these things take time to get here. We order them; they have to be built, and sometimes, unfortunately, when you sit down and you make you do your Gantt chart, you don't put in time to build stuff. You think, well, you're going to order stuff and you're going to get it, not thinking that when you order something, it now has to be built, and you didn't take that time in consideration. So some things like that can push you over the ending period.
Our next stop was the river, where the most exciting engineering work is currently taking place.
Well, the pieces for the culverts are back over there, and we have some on that side as well. So all the material that we need to do this work is on site already, all of it. Those are going to be reassembled. They came prefab from Mexico. It's corrugated steel, and they'll be reassembled to go in here, right? So what we will do, once we put in our culverts here, we are basically going to put in 5 rows of culverts, right? Each culvert is 10 by 20 feet, right? And we're covering 1,000 feet going down. So the length is 1,000 feet all the way down that we have to cover. So just think about it. It's 5 rows of culverts, each culvert 10 by 20, covering 1,000 feet going all the way down. Now, if you look at that river and what we're building here, you know, this is a lot wider than the river you're seeing. Even when it comes down, the volume of water that comes down, the capacity of this will be able to carry all our water plus more if more comes down. And because they're so big, they're easy to maintain, they're easy to clean. So we don't fear debris buildup because they can be cleaned easily. Because we have so much capacity, we're not afraid it's going to overflow at any point in time, because it's more than adequate to carry all the water that will come down, plus runoff water, if any. All of that down there. All the stone that you see came out from here. We had a lot more, but a lot of it went back in there to provide reinforcement for the base of this thing. So this base here, when they're done with that, no water will touch this base because it's going to be covered again. So no water will touch that.
What was the impact on the biodiversity here? Because you had to channel the river differently. What was the impact in terms of any studies done to see what was the impact on the fish life and whatsoever here?
Yes, there were a number of studies done previous to any type of earthworks or excavation works. From about 2006 to 2007, we had Cuban engineers and personnel that did geological, hydrological studies, not only on this area as regards the river, but the entire site, even including the Warraco estuary area, the Warraco area and the Peruvian Vale area, as it relates to the hydrological impacts on this aspect of the project in terms of shifting the river, so that the designs, when they do the design, it's able to accommodate any kind of overland flow if there's a storm or hurricane, and also any impact on the life of the tree and so on. So whatever designs they have done, and in terms of the process they'll be utilizing when they install those metal frames, because you can barely see it from here, whatever they're going to be installing, consideration was given for the flora and fauna in the area. Of course, our local agents would have been involved in terms of the fisheries and the forestry department.
From here, it was across to our favorite bar lookout at Peruvian Vale, where students got a good view of the city fence work taking place on the project.
It's only the petroglyph that was preserved. You have other stuff that was preserved from here.
Well, we had to preserve the petroglyphs, but then when we were excavating, We did a lot of archaeological work. They found a lot of stuff on site, a lot of artifacts dating back some more than 2,000 years.
And where are they?
With the National Trust. All of those items are in the care of the National Trust. They are responsible for all the heritage things in St. Vincent. So they have those. So while we were building and seemingly tearing down, we were also preserving heritage. We took care because we brought in a number of teams from different places to do the archaeological work to make sure we preserve the heritage. Young man.
What any other wildlife, like birds, banana, were they affected? How you?
Well, when the AIA was done, it was done in collaboration, as I indicated, with the Forestry Division, the Fisheries Division, the necessary governmental agencies. In terms of the birds, we had a number of studies done between 2010 and last year with regards to the birds and the impact on the birds. What we found is that in terms of the types of birds that are out here, there is sufficient forest and related areas for them to still coexist. They also did studies not only on this area but other areas to see if the birds that are found here are found in different areas of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is so. One of the things that they discovered is that in terms of migration, we have to monitor that during the operational stage, because during the period of about May down to August, we've noted that the laughing gulls that live on Milligan Key, or people call it Turtle Rock, that during that time, that's when they migrate to this area. This is like where they used to come, and they still do that. We've noted over the past couple of years, they still do that. They still come to the area, so they're in large numbers. So what we're doing, we're monitoring to see the numbers that we have, the times that they're, what the activities are, so that when during the operational phase, we can put a plan in place with regards to how our flight operations occur and how we may be affected by the birds during that time. But in terms of other wildlife, like the iguanas and we still see some of the mongoose. Like in those areas across there where the old highway used to be, we still see a lot of mongoose. Some of the iguanas too, in Johnson Hill, that area over there, and but generally, in terms of those, I don't think it has caused any insignificant impact. The birds are something that we're looking at though. We have to keep our eyes on.
They also got an update on the control tower, which is now at the stage of certifying completion.
There are minor installation that is taking place, primarily electrical. Once that is done and we have the final inspection from the electrical inspectorate, we can give a completion certificate. The control tower base structure, the reinforced concrete structure, consists of a basement, a lower ground floor, a ground floor with accommodation for officers. The first floor where you have the senior officers, kitchenette, dining facilities. The second floor, which accesses the control tower itself, and there are also offices on that floor, is a purpose-built structure, primarily for the use of the air traffic controllers. Internally, it's of a high-quality finish. We use a lot of high-quality materials. Also, we do have to install safety features, like for example, where that guy is standing there, we have to install a fire escape, which also will be to international standards and requirements. The control tower is also a purpose-built structure. It came portable and had to be assembled on site. It is really basically one large room with all the electronic equipment required for radar, tracking, communications, and so on. Self-contained. Officers will access it via a ladder, and it's going to be private. So once you're up there, you really shouldn't have any disturbance from outside forces. You have a 360-degree vision. You have a view of both the head and the foot of the runway. Yes. It was completed within 14 weeks. Everything came prepackaged. Yeah, the electronic equipment that has to be installed, however, is still to arrive. We have had an inspection and pass of the
facilities that will accommodate the electronic equipment, electrical, air conditioning, lighting, everything is done. So once the electronic equipment comes and it's installed, it will take about 6 weeks, and then we could have occupancy of the building.
You too can get a first-hand look at the work being carried out here at the Argyle International Airport. Give us a call to make the arrangements. In the meantime, you can get information from our website, www.svgiadc.com, or on Facebook at Friends of the Argyle International Airport. We are also on Twitter at Argyle International. See you next time.